Carney, man, ball game. Carney is the man as he steps into a right-hander, and Chaminade wins it.
They wanted that game bad, right? Because the way Del Barton beat them late last year, Chaminade wanted this.
They did, and it was last hurrah for the seniors on their home turf. You wouldn't have known that at the half. 1 goal on the board for that ridiculously brilliant midfield line, but they regrouped and they found a way, and they set the tone for what would be a really exciting Saturday of lacrosse on Long Island. Of course, Chaminade winning, but then what was going on just a couple miles away at Hofstra in front of 14,000 people was just riveting between Notre Dame, and Albany.
So you guys were kind of following that as it was going back and forth?
Yes. I mean, listen, there was a lot there. Maryland and Bryant, Jack Moran's son coaches on the Maryland, so that was relevant. And then, of course, I wouldn't think about it until later, but when Matt Cavallo scores for Notre Dame, a kid who grew up in Rockville Center just a couple miles away, went to Chaminade, it was like, wow, what a day.
Boy, I tell you, they drew much better for the quarters on Long Island than they did in Delaware. They got about 7,500 in Delaware for the 2 games
They
on
almost
Sunday.
doubled that.
Yeah.
Listen, that's when we hated to see football leave at Hofstra and then the field turned into a lacrosse field. It's a beautiful looking lacrosse field.
Not when you play football games on it.
I know that,
nightmare.
but I'm just saying, with 14,000 people in the building,
Yeah,
you
sure.
saw some of the images. It looked very nice and a beautiful sunny day. And the Thompson brothers and their cousin. Just a crazy day because the Thompsons, Lyle sets the NCAA assist record, and then on the other side, Miles gets his 82nd goal to tie
Let me
Johnny
ask you a
Reese.
question. Didn't you see those guys play in high school? Didn't Connor English light those guys up for Manhasset?
Yes, that was against Lafayette.
Yeah, they played at Lafayette,
but not
didn't they?
those guys.
Oh, who were the guys that played? Oh,
That's the same family, but that's the one that went to Syracuse, right?
I don't know.
I'm confused now. We're gonna have to delve
well,
into
Connor
this.
English scored the 9 goals.
Yeah,
In what
against
year was
Lafayette.
that? That was like in 09.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. How old are these Thompson guys? They seniors?
Now you're asking me. I don't think so. Maybe juniors. I
Who
don't
do
know.
you think's going to win Suffolk A?
We're gonna have to get his Bob Stack when I need him.
Who do you think's going to win Suffolk? He's on the other side of the wall. Who do you think's going to win Suffolk A?
Who knows? You got a dartboard?
It's crazy.
Put it up against the wall.
I mean, if you just look at the last regular season day, okay, you had Smithtown West. I didn't even know I was going to talk about this, so I'm just going off memory. I think they won by 3 goals. Smithtown East was down again, came back to win by a goal against Northport again. I'm just ripping this now. Sachem North just gets by West Islip.
Twice.
Right.
Once in game, once post game.
You know what? Yeah, let's do the highlights of that game. Take you back to last Tuesday. This was kind of wild. Time running down, opening quarter. West Islip on the attack. Mike Moynihan has had a very good year. That would tie it at 1. Sachem going to take the lead back in the second. Tommy Hahn to Joe Caridi. Joe's had a wonderful year too. The bounce shot.
Sneaky bouncer.
Yeah. West Islip going to answer with 2. Connor Smith to Colin Hitter. Makes it 3-2 West Islip. That's the way it stayed until under 10 seconds left on the attack. On the half, North on the attack. James Avanzato to Shawnee O'Brien, 4-4 at the break. Same score, third quarter, Trevor Bovich. Oh, lefty. Man, that thing was smoking. 5-4. We go to the final 12 minutes. A lot of scoring. Nope, just this one. Jimmy Hoffman. That's the only goal in the final quarter. So if you add it up, Jim, that means it's 5-5. You go to a first overtime, no score. You go to a second overtime. Oh, look at the catch off the bad pass. Sean O'Brien wins it with 20 seconds to go in that second overtime, 6-5. Now, the playoffs were supposed to start in Suffolk A on Friday, but they didn't. You know why? Protest. Here we go. Same game. This is in overtime. West Islip on the attack. Moynihan, on the doorstep. And the sophomore goalie, Jacob Jackalone, who's had a wonderful year, comes up with the save. Scotty Craig not happy because he said one of the officials indicated goal. He raised his hands. There you see Jack alone taking it right off the, right in the midsection. It's a family show. And then, so a day later, this game was on Tuesday, so I'm up at the St. Anthony Darien game, and I start getting some texts that, hey, Suffolk playoffs on hold. Scotty Craig protested it because the official said the ball went in. The other official overruled it. And I was surprised that the protest was actually heard, because how are you going to prove the ball went in or not without instant replay? And you can't use video replay in high school. So they heard the appeal and they quickly put it to bed. But with that, the games, this was Thursday, they moved the games back from Friday to Monday. So as of today, there'll be 4 games played.
Starts today?
In Suffolk, yeah. You have Bayshore, Walt Whitman. Winner of that gets Smithtown West. You have West Islip, Sachem East. That game, as the taping of this is being played, that's the other bracketed game. West Islip's the 5 seed. You have the 13 seed Connecticut at Ward Melville, who gave Ward, that was the other game I talked about on last Tuesday. Ward Melville won by a goal. You have Smithtown East waiting for the winner of Northport Hills West, a Northport team that beat Smithtown East a week ago. And then you have Hauppauge Hills East, winner of that, gets Sachem North. It is up in the air.
That, it looked like to me the referee that kind of half signal goal might have saw the net move and like a gust of wind, and it was very windy there that day.
Yeah.
And when instantaneously with the shot kind of hitting the keeper, the net popped up a little bit. And sometimes, many times on a great goal, when the ball hits the net kind of moves. So maybe that little optical illusion fooled that referee.
Could have.
And put that whole thing in motion. Look, thank goodness the right call stood.
Yeah, it was clearly not a goal.
We have the advantage of having the videotape, being able to slow it down, look at it, and we have clearly seen that.
Jack alone made a great save. Yeah. I mean, that's Monahan on the doorstep, save. Huge save.
Game
sophomore,
saver.
And he's had a wonderful year.
Yeah.
Jim, are you a big believer? Do you like when a team finishes the regular season and those same 2 teams play each other the next day in the playoffs, or the first round of the playoffs? So regular season they meet. Really?
I mean, I guess it's sort of like a double dip. It could be fun. It's like a
But you don't like it?
I mean, to me, I always like a little mystery in the postseason, and maybe just a little bit of, we haven't seen them in a while. I mean, back to back is kind of strange.
So you graduated from Huntington?
Yes. No. What do you mean?
Well, because the Huntington people don't like it. But if you're Compsawag, you love it. How about this? Last Wednesday, Compsawag and Huntington played the final regular season game in Suffolk B. At home, Huntington lost 10-5. So the way it gets bracketed, they play each other in the first round. Guess who comes back to Huntington? Compsawag.
Warriors.
Guess who leaves Huntington with another victory? And now it's clean up your equipment for Huntington. Compsawag.
Hot Compsawag.
Yes.
Young and red hot are the
12-8.
Warriors for Pete Mitchell. Watch the sophomore, Matty Spar, on the pole. Matt came into this game with 1 goal in the season. He equals that right here. Makes it 3-1 Compsawag. Huntington, you know what they want to do. They want to get Big Ben involved. Talking about Binghamton-bound Ben Kosis. Kosis on the rebound, on the doorstep, 5-4 Huntington.
He's a little banged up, Kosis. Some nagging injuries.
Tough end of the season. Brendan Donnelly to Greg Padone, the senior.
Donnelly's had some huge games this year for Mitchell.
Yes. Third quarter, Compsawag ball tied at 5. Chris Casadente breaks the tie, and it's 6-5 Warriors. And then watch this. McGregor to Donnelly to Spar. Spar had 1 goal coming into the season. He had 1, make it 2 in this game. The pole. Back to back, the Warriors beat the Blue Devils. Compsawag is moving on to meet the defending champs.
So obviously Mitchell's been holding Spar down this year. He's got to let him take that pole and run. What do you say, Matty?
Yeah, definitely. We knew they were going to come out with like a different game plan, and Will Snelders, he went 5-1, 5 goals. So we knew they were going to try to lock off on him, and he only had like 1 or 2 today. So that definitely changed. But yeah, it's different because these came out something different.
They're hot, Mike. In their last 6 games, they only have one loss, Kamsawa, and that was to Rocky Point, 11-10 in overtime. So, listen, Coach Mitchell, no stranger to good postseason runs with his Kamsawa bunch, and let's face it, he's got them playing well at the right time with a lot of confidence.
Miller Place and Islip, they played in the regular season.
Yes.
And Islip beat Miller Place. You think Lizzie let the guys know that before? Do you think he reminded them, or do you think the kids knew it?
Oh, there's no question about it.
What?
We are the defending champs. They beat us once in the regular season, but now this is a little different. This is the second season.
See, Miller Place, it's weird. So they go into the postseason off a loss to Rocky Point in the last regular season game. So again, this Suffolk Lacrosse is crazy this year. I mean, you could really go any way you want with it. The only one who has separated themselves a little bit in this whole thing, I think if you take the A's and the B's, I think is Rocky Point, but who knows? But Miller Place lost to Rocky Point to end the season. Then they take on Islip. So here we go. Rematch was a good one for Miller Place.
Islip's up 1-0, Kieran Mullins. And look at this, Mike. It's now 2-0 Islip.
They're going to Army, first team All-Metro last year on the Clark team.
Oh, gotta love it. Chris Nielsen, a sophomore. Tommy Lee Antonio, his brother was the keeper last year. Game is tied at 2. Then watch the freshman, Kevin Gersbeck to Liam Walsh, the senior bound for Marist. Game is tied at 3. Back and forth they go to Yaz. Austin Yazarski, the senior on the pole. He goes righty to lefty on the pole. That's confidence, and it was foreshadowing of things to come. Nico Narbutis. There's Narbutis. Nico makes it 5-4 Miller Place, and they just took control. Liam Walsh again. Scores here. We showed you Austin on the pole scoring with his left hand. Stay to the strong side this time. Again, what's this, the all poles scoring show? You gotta love it. Another pole with a pair in the game. And Miller Place, the defending Suffolk champs, Mike, is moving on.
You know who Yaz looked a little bit like in those highlights? The former standout out of New Fairfield High School in Connecticut, C.J. Costabile.
Oh, C.J. Costabile.
I remember he used to run around with that pole scoring goals. Whew.
Run around. He faced off, did C.J. Costabile, on the pole. On the man up, he would enter the fray. That used to be the funniest thing. Man up, send him out there with the pole, and just tremendous. And by the way, of course, I mean, he is the hero to every pole in America because he won a national championship for Duke on an unassisted, off the face-off on the pole goal to beat Notre Dame.
And in sports, you never want to say never, but that record will never be broken as far as ending a game in overtime. What was it, 5 seconds?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
It was.
I always remember watching it, and because you sent me out to do the feature on Costabile and how he had so many unassisted goals off the face-off on the pole. And when he wins the face-off and he comes down, my brother-in-law is yelling, "Give it up!" And I scream out, "No chance!" Boom!
Well, Costabile was absolutely a wonderful talent, but he wasn't put together like this cat Yaz. Get a look at this guy.
It was a close game at half. Pretty sure it was tied 4-4, and we just knew we had to come out on fire, play as a team, just pump a couple goals in, back to back, just keep piling them on, just gain the momentum, and hopefully take them out of the game. We just came out on fire and just pumped them on. And our goal is making great saves, our defense locked down great, offense is moving the ball great, and it just came together as a team.
Well, you almost can see a certain focus. You know, Austin as being one of the real leaders of that team. We're the defending champs. We might have had a few bumps along the way here, but now it's put up or shut up time.
Sable, Shoreham Wading River, fun game. Shoreham Wading River had been playing really good lacrosse. You know, hiccup in the middle of the season, but they had been playing some nice lacrosse. But at this time of the year, their bags are packed. There ain't any practice time left because the Golden Flashes, like they love to do, they get into that postseason, and that's where they butter their bread. Matty Seltz, football player, lacrosse player here. I love it. Lacrosse on real grass with some dirt. Oh, good stuff. Then in the second, Spencer Andrews to the fabulous freshman, Jack Cohn. And then Andrews to Ryan Kelly. Oh, look at the head up. Sayville, they're moving on, taking on Rocky Point. They win it 9-6. They played Rocky Point one time this year, and they lost to Rocky Point 10-6. So that game will be played on Thursday. So it's all set in Suffolk B. Rocky Point, Sayville, Compsawag, Miller Place. And let's just see if the bracketologists did a good job out there in Suffolk. All right, so the only upset, Compsawag broke the chalk when they beat Huntington.
Yeah.
So they're the 6th seed. There you go.
Dangerous.
There you go.
Got some sophomores with a lot of ability. Recipe for success, but now he's down to the Final Four.
You see who's been playing real well since they lost to Ridgefield. Have you noticed that?
Garden City?
Yeah, something's going on.
Something's going on?
Something's going on.
They're
with
the
it.
two-time defending New York State champions.
I know, but come on. Did you think... I mean, you thought they were a little vulnerable, right?
Yes. Well, listen, at some point, you can't set the bar all the way up.
Well, the parents do.
Well, that's Garden City. I mean, listen, they roll out of bed, think they should be county Long Island state champs. I mean, well, listen, what they've done in Nassau County is spectacular. They've got a stranglehold on Nassau County. They have a semi-stranglehold on Long Island. And they've got a pretty good hold on New York State as the two-time defenders. Been to 4 straight state finals, too.
Well, Fennell lives to play another day. Took on Wantagh. Wantagh gave him a bit of a game this year. Look at this play, though. You know Wantagh is going to compete, and that's exactly what they did in this game. They cut it to 3-2 Mike Ferraro to Kyle Kane, but they would get no closer. Under 15 seconds to play in the half. Here's your big play. Luke McDade just dribbles it in, so they're up 4-2. Moved to the third, 10 seconds after Wantagh. Made it a 2-goal game. James Sullivan said, nope. That's it, guys. We're done. And then Cody George. Oh, yeah. Said 10-3.
Dartmouth in the house. Cody George. And Burns with 2-2. That senior is heading off to Villanova.
So now, is it the Woodstick? I never talked to Jack White.
It's
That's a bad job by
the
me.
Woodstick.
So when they play now, so they're going to play Manhasset.
Yes.
It's the Woodstick?
Yes. Listen, first of all, they started playing. Right.
Thanks, Brian. 126.
126.
Make it stop.
Right. So I mean, if it was only once a year, it was the Woodstick. They would have had to have started playing in the late 1800s for it to be the Woodstick. But every time they play, it's Woodstick. So last year when Manhasset won regular season, it was Woodstick number 124, 123. In the postseason, when Garden City won, it was 124. Round 1 this year was 125. Now we go to 126.
Which Woodstick means
But you're
more?
right, though. One thing is it me or does that Woodstick trophy not come out in the postseason?
I don't see it in the postseason.
I don't think they bring it up.
Bob says it comes out.
Then it comes out. Maybe they don't carry it around as much because it's the postseason and they got to move on. They got bigger fish to fry.
How are things with you and Cherry?
Good, always good. Come on, Bill Cherry. I mean, Bill Cherry is the coach you want to go fishing with. I always tell you that.
Because of his hat?
No, because he'll bait the hooks. I can't touch those worms.
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about? Let's get to the highlights. Oh my gosh. All right, here they are taking on Cary. Cary's had a real good year, but on this night, Manhasset takes a 2-0 lead. Jimmy Farrell, 2-0.
University of Pennsylvania bound senior. They need him big here.
Check out Matty Gavin working his way.
That's a sophomore bound for Duke.
Now it's 4-0. Cary's going to fight back in this game here. Matty Robinson with a real nice effort goes downstairs, but James Thomas and the boys, not on this night. JT, boom, bouncer, double up Cary. So Cary's season comes to an end. Manhasset in the playoff edition of the Woodstick. That is now. They play against their rivals. Let's see. That game is Wednesday night. Garden City and Manhasset.
Manhasset is a very dangerous team with a bunch of losses. Okay, their whole season has been sort of decorated with these 1-goal late losses. Listen, that doesn't mean anything if you go out and lose by 6 goals to Garden City. But if you subscribe to the building process, could mean something.
Jim, what did Manhasset when Cherry had that thing rolling? What did they win, like 42, 44 in a row or something like that?
Something like that.
How about this? They're on a 3-game win streak right now.
Yeah.
Their longest of the season as far as wins. 3 in a row. It's the most wins they've
won.
had. Last year, if you've noticed the Owls of Lynbrook, year after year after year, they've made improvements.
Yeah.
Last year, their season ended against Long Beach in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Guess who they had the other day?
Yeah.
You saw that, right?
They had Tommy Nick Pinn in Long Beach once again, but this is a whole different. This is a 15-win Lynbrook team coming into this game. 15 wins.
12-5 a year ago. They continue to play.
Yes.
The Owls are getting it done.
Here's Nick Pond right here, and Tommy, big first quarter for the Marines. And Mike, looked like, hey, like last year all over again. Long Beach is up 3-1, but the Owls got hot. Owen Daly right here. Then it's Mike McVeigh. Then it's Joe Grassi. Joe had 2 and 3. And then a name synonymous with great lacrosse, Purdy. This is Gordon Purdy. Lynbrook wins at 9-7. Daly with 5 in the game. And Lynbrook has their 16th win. Their only losses to Friends. They got some nice wins, though, too. I mean, listen, any year for Lynbrook, we just mentioned Manhasset. Lynbrook has beaten Manhasset. They beat Farmingdale. They beat Oceanside. That's a nice ledger right there for the Owls.
They will now take on Bethpage, a team they beat 10-7 earlier this year. Here's why they're taking on Bethpage.
Good keeper, too. Brendan McDougal had 16 saves. Bethpage, Mike's leak, puts a finger at 3-3 going into the final quarter. Bethpage, though, would wake up in this one. The sophomore, Brian Sider. His big summer coming into his sophomore year paid off for him. And then Dennis Costa puts a lid on it. Costa, good volleyball player, too. Bethpage, Sider, and Costa right there.
How'd you work the volleyball into that?
I just, was fishing around and I saw that about Costa. Sometimes, I told you, I go fishing. Not with Jerry, though, but I would.
Massapequa now won 12 games in a row.
You don't fish, though. No,
What?
Your
I used
son
to fish with Bry a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to, now I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Massapequa, they've won 12 in a row, but the thing that alarms me, their last 9 wins, these games have not been competitive. Against Calhoun, Nassau A playoffs. Here we go.
Okay, look where they are. No place like home. Hofstra for Craig Burge in Georgetown. Bound Burge makes it 2-0, 2-2. We'll have news on Burge in a second. And then there's Ian Kirby to Jimmy Burns. Towson to Quinnipiac. 4-0 Massapequa. Look at Paulie Delina to Jimmy Burns here. Good little touch pass.
Oh, I love this. This guy Burns is smooth.
Backhander by Burns.
He's smooth. He's got swagger.
Calhoun ball down 5-0. Matt Valdini on the save. They're going to need a big postseason by the keeper. And then Paulie Delina to Jimmy Burns once again. Burns 3-2. And in this game, Mike, kind of not the image you want to see if you're a Massapequa fan. They're trying to win their first ever Long Island Championship, right? Defending national champs. Burge would go down, helped off the field. It's an ankle. Look, of course, the word is he's going to play, but not the time of year you want to take anything away from the first step of Craig Burge.
That girlfriend of his, Stackpole, better take care of him. Dylan, you were there. 6:51 left, up 11-1. Burge in the game goes down, and I guess initially it didn't look good.
For him go down, he was in a lot of pain, and he was down on the turf for quite a while. And the encouraging sign, though, was when he walked off, there were people next to him, but he kind of walked off on his own, and he saw he picked up the pace as he went. He stayed on the bench. He was actually on the sideline, I should say, so he was standing the entire time and walked off fine, didn't have crutches. So, we've seen Burge, such a competitor in the fall with the football team and obviously with Lax, and I don't think anything is going to hold him off the field for this run of theirs down the stretch.
Yeah, Farmingdale is up next. I kind of get an idea, Dill. I don't think you knew you were going to be on today, did you? I noticed you didn't shave.
The playoff beard? Can I use that as an excuse? Or?
Yes.
Okay, so now
looks good too. Maybe shave your head for your next appearance.
Now, so what happened the other night? So you were doing some live chatting now,
yes.
and I know you put a lot of work into it. And these people on Long Island, man, you got to talk to this guy Butler. So throw out there, like, what are some of the questions you were asking the other night?
Yeah, I mean, like a good coach, right? You have to be prepared for get a game plan going. So I had a few. Here's one. I had I don't know if you can see that there.
Yeah.
Player of the Year in Nassau, right? I mean,
Really?
that's a good question. A lot of good candidates there.
Right.
Cody George, Burge, we just talked about. James Sullivan, another guy.
Right.
Sean Cerrone, right? A lot of.
Yeah, it's good.
Right? We could talk about that. A lot
Yeah.
of banter. How about the Suffolk boys Lacrosse Player of the Year?
Who's that?
Got Ryan Keenan, right? He's in the mix.
Yeah.
Christian Zawatsky is his teammate there. How about Jack?
So you did your homework.
Sure. Jack Kincannon, great goalie for St. Anthony's. Justin Ray. There's a sleeper there.
What about Jack Sullivan from Rocky Point?
There you go. See, another one. That we could have had a little.
So I don't understand. So how did it go the other night? Were people on Long Island not getting involved? What's the deal here?
Well, it started out okay. We
Right.
had about 5 questions in the first couple minutes, and kind of went quiet there.
Okay, so
I'm not sure.
let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Okay, so what time are you on now? What time is this going to be?
Thursday at 8.
Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Okay, here's the deal. If people on Long Island do not get involved with you and start asking questions this week, I feel strong enough in our relationship, and Jimmy and I believe in you so much, that if people don't get involved this week, this will be the last Quick Hits Long Island Lacrosse show we do on the season.
Oh, a lot of pressure on me. I don't want to.
It's a walkout.
No. The pressure is not on you. The pressure is on these people on Long Island. If this is the greatest lacrosse place in America, then let's get them involved. How's that? Fair?
I think that's fair. I think they're going to respond. I think there's a lot of great content. We got the Chaminade St. Anthony's game coming up. There's a lot of talk there. We got playoffs in Suffolk and Nassau really winding down in terms of the counties. So there's going to be a lot to talk about for sure.
Ask Butler questions. Otherwise, this show is done. We are done with you, buddy. Good luck on Thursday. Chaminade Del Barton, Jim. Last year, we talked about it. Del Barton pinned one on Chaminade.
Yeah.
And now Chaminade pins them back.
Returns the favor. They were down 4-1 at the half, and then look at this. Emmett Cordry, the Princeton-bound junior, makes it 6-2 Del Barton. They're in total control. But here comes Sean Cerrone. Cerrone scoreless in the first half. It would all change in the second half. Big overhand right, and then Cerrone once again, another overhand right. So now it's a 6-5 game. But give credit to Del Barton, they got a lot of talent. Jordan Dowiak heading off to Cornell. Right-hander 7-5. You just saw Cerrone with that prototypical big right-hander. This is why he's a complete midi heading off to Villanova. Now the left hand, Cerrone makes it 8-7. And then Chaminade. They would get a wonderful play by their keeper. Starts this fast break. It's now all tied at 8 apiece. To overtime they go. Here we go. Carney Man. That is it. Overtime victory. Tremendous win.
Owen Rogers picked it up from behind, and I was just open, so I called for the ball, and I just had a shot, and luckily I stuck it.
This is a gutsy performance heading into the championship. The tying goal was one of the great plays you'll ever see a goalie make. Started with his snarty and ends up on the stick of James Roberts. That was pretty to watch, even for you, I imagine.
Yeah, Snarty made a great play, and I think it was Rob Speranza that cleared it, and it was just great transition offense.
Yeah, just an amazing play by Matt Snarty, the senior goalie heading off to Army for Chaminade. They're down 1 late. They're pressing out. They need the ball. He forces the turnover, picks it up and throws that pass to Robbie Speranza on the move. Just threads the needle 50 yards downfield to get the tying goal, and then, hey, into overtime they go, and Carney, man.
Is Thursday's game hard to prep for you, or this is like being an NFL announcer where you just see the same teams, right?
Seen them before. Listen, throw the records out, throw the regular season out. They both won by the same score, 8-7. Here we go. It's the Sugar Bowl. It's the Rose Bowl. It's the pay-per-view event, Chaminade St. Anthony's. 5 o'clock live on MSGVarsity.com. You'll see it Sunday morning on 4/14. They're both represented in the poll as, look at this, Mike, Jimmy, and the ref.
Buddy, I wanted to show St. Anthony's highlights in the show this week,
Lucky for them, you're out of time.
I couldn't find any. I watched that Darien. I'm worried.
And they were hot. Listen, Darien's big-time team. It's a bad loss for St. Anthony's. They got to circle the wagons now because, hey, Chaminade is here. It's one of those legacy games. Chaminade won it last year. Who wins it this year? Thursday at 5, right here on .com.